Hey, this is Quest for Gear, and this is a ramble. This is not a gear demo. This is not a tutorial. This is just me talking about releasing an album and being pretty bummed out about how it sounds on Spotify specifically. This is going to be a long one, so if you're going to listen to it, then just put it in the background and, play solitaire or do your accounting or do something else while you're listening, because it'll be a long ramble. So I don't even know where to start. I'll start with what album it is. So if you go on Spotify or even YouTube and you look under the band Observatory WatchTower One, you will find my latest album called Wages of War. And this is what the album art looks like. This is the actual artwork we put together for it from a collage. So it looks like that. So again, it's Observatory WatchTower One. The album is called Wages of War. I did distribute it through CD Baby, so you'll be able to find it on 30 services, including Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon, all the usual suspects. This is what the back looks like. It's like a track listing. My fake record label down there. And let me tell you, on its own, on a CD in the van, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the mix. I don't think my mix is bad. It's when it plays, the songs play in comparison with other tracks on Spotify that you understand, you realize how it sounds wimpy and it sounds flat in comparison to other tracks on Spotify. Now, I was drug into the Loudness wars before, where everybody slams the heck out of their music. Like the Arctic Monkeys stuff is smashed to hell. It's just fatiguing how smashed those original releases of the Arctic Monkeys stuff was. Just smashed to heck. And that comes out of the Loudness wars of the late 90s and mid-aughts, mid-2000s. I didn't want any part of that. I just wanted to mix this album in a way that people wouldn't get fatigued, in a way that kept the dynamics. I didn't want an L2 Waves maximizer across the bus and smash the hell out of it. So I didn't, okay? Now I got a pretty loose taste too in terms of what I'm good for noise. I love all the shimmy disc stuff, the bong water stuff. I love Ween, that album, The Pod. I love Yola Tango. I love stuff where you gotta squint your ears to enjoy it. For me, it's like digging through garbage to find a beautiful flower. Like you gotta listen through a Yola Tango mix to hear the beauty in it. And the guided by voices, low track. Like I love lo-fi. I love lo-fi stuff. I love noisy. I love hiss. So I have a pretty low bar when it comes to what my stuff sounds like. I'm not mixing for Celine Dion. I'm not mixing for, I don't know, who is that? She Bangs guy, Ricky Martin. Is that what that guy's name? You know what I mean? Ricky Martin is a good example to hear. He was right on the cusp of some of these digital changes and some of this Loudness war stuff. But anyway, I'm not mixing hi-fi pop. I'm mixing lo-fi basement stuff. So for my ear, for my mix on this album, I was happy. It's not till recently that I started to hear it on Spotify in comparison to other people's songs. And unfortunately, like I listen to albums all the way through. That's how I listen to music. You're never gonna find me pick out one song. I'm gonna listen to an album the way it was intended. That's just the way I do it. I don't tend to listen to singles. I barely listen to EPs. I listen to full-length LPs as they were intended, as they were sequenced all the way through. But that's not how the kids do it. The kids are shuffle playlisting through Spotify. And when my songs play against a Spotify song, they sound wimpy and thin because I didn't smash the bejesus out of them. All right? So it's unfortunate. So, should I have spent money on the big mastering? In hindsight, yeah. I probably should have spent $200 US on this album. Can I fix it now? Well, yes and no. I can't go back to CD Baby and say, can you recall this album off 30 platforms? It ain't going to happen. Even if CD Baby wanted to, it's very tough to retrieve back what you have cast out there. And this is one of the reasons my friend Numb Thumb over at Warheart Arts is so skeptical of this kind of thing, because he knows once the digital oligarchy out there has your stuff, that's all there is to it. They have it. They're not likely going to release it back. Not that I'm making anybody any money, but it's just not how it works. What I could do is I could do a Wages of War remix, or remaster, I should say. So I would probably tap Todd Tobias of Guided by Voices fame. I'm very sure he recorded this album. I don't think he mastered it, but pretty sure he engineered this. I've talked to Todd Tobias in emails. He's a heck of a nice guy, and he knows what he's doing. So I would probably ask him to remaster this for me, in the hopes that I got something that would compete on Spotify. Again, when I listen to my album, this album on my CD, my burnt CD, I'm fine with it. When I listen to my album on Spotify, I'm fine with it. And that's mission accomplished for me. Make my music for me. And that should be your mission accomplished primary objective as well, is make your music for you. Now, I do get severely bummed out when the next song comes on and it's like, Nirvana, or even some of the latest Guided by Voices stuff is mixed really hard and hot. Trevor Harrison. And it's good. It's not smash flat. It's just my stuff on Spotify does not compete. So what I could do is I could get this album. I could touch up the mixes here and there. There's only like 12 songs. I could touch up the mixes and then send it to Todd Tobias. And maybe I should do this. Have him remaster it. And then I could re-release it on CD Baby as Wages of War Remix Remaster. That's what I would have to do, But I would forever have this blemish, which I already have it. I mean, it's already a scar. I can't undo what I've done or not done, because there's no recalling this thing now. So now I blame me. There's no one to blame but myself. But I also blame the way I did it. I mixed it on the Tascam Model 24. And that's not how I've mixed my past stuff. You can listen to my former albums and former stuff I've done for other bands, such as my album Secrets of Memory Man. Just listen to the first track called Silver Veins. So I'll show you what that album covered. This is what Secrets of Memory Man looks like. It's on Spotify. Go listen to Silver Veins, and then go listen to any track on Wages of War. And you can see what a step backwards I took in my mixing and mastering in terms of how hot it is. So I mixed it with the Tascam Model 24, essentially making the job a lot harder on myself. Why? Because the metering sucks on this thing. Now, it is a poor worker who blames his tools. Well, that is me, blaming my tools. But I'm just saying, had I used my Apollo and Reaper and my Mac computer and my Waves plugins and my Universal Audio plugins, there's my Mac there. I'm just saying I would have made a lot better mix and master. But no, I wanted to do it the hard way. I wanted to go old school. But here we sit. I'm bummed out. I got a flat sounding album released to 30 places that I can't get it back. So even if I remastered with Todd Tobias, remastered this and put it back out, basically like, sorry everybody, sorry about that, I screwed up. Sorry, here's the real album. Even if I did that, people are going to still accidentally come to this old one, because CD Baby is not going to go to 30 distributors and go, bring her all back, boys, bring her all back. Just kidding, sorry about that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What's the lesson learned? As you guys know, I've had 11 of these. Now, 5 of them were lemons, and the other 6 was because I changed my mind. Some of you guys don't believe me. A lot of you guys have said you've questioned my credibility or whatever. Let's just get this out of the way. I don't have any credibility. What are you even talking about, right? So you can go, you're lying. Okay. Like it's like, okay. As they say, it doesn't change the way mustard tastes, So if you want to say, well, if you say you've had 11 of these and you've had 6 Zoom L-Track 20s, then you don't have any credibility. Newsflash, genius. I don't have any credibility anyway. I am a guy with a phone in my basement that can upload videos to YouTube on the internet. I might not even be real. I might be AI at this point. Or I could be a glitch in the matrix that has infiltrated your consciousness. Look around the room. Maybe you're not real. So I don't really get why guys are like, oh, you say you owned 11 of these and 6 of the other? You're lying. You don't have credibility. Okay. I didn't have any. What are you talking about? Right? And where's the threshold? If I said I had 2, do I lose my credibility on YouTube? If I said I had 22, do I lose my credibility? Like, why are you saying it? Now you might say, does it bother you that people say that? Well, first of all, yeah, because I'm not lying. You're accusing me of lying and I'm not lying. But does it really bother me? No, I find it interesting that if I say I've owned 11 of these and 6 of the Zoom Live L-Track 20s, that I'm lying. I like that. What a boring lie. If I'm going to make some weird gimmick up to drive this channel, what a lame gimmick, right? You guys think I sat down here and I'm like, what's my angle? What's my gimmick? I'm like, I know. I'm going to take a couple kinds of multi-trackers and pretend I've owned lots of them. Like, what a lame gimmick. Can you imagine if that's the best lie? It's crazy. But anyway, okay, for the record, I really have owned 11 of these and 6 live Zoom Live Track L20s. I currently own this one. Am I lying? I mean, I'm pointing right at it. It's real. It's real. And then I own a Zoom Live Track L20, which I can't show you because it's a friend house, and I don't care if you believe me. Why do I highlight this and tie this in to the bad album I released? Well, because it's like this. You're missing the real story. You're missing the story of a guy in his basement that goes back and forth between gear and can't be satisfied. You're missing the story about a guy who can't decide if he's going to record in his computer or record, mix, and master, mind you. Record, mix, and master in his Apple with an Apollo or these multi-tracks in which I've owned most of the new digital ones. I've owned the Zoom R16, the R24, the R20. I've owned several, as I mentioned, the L-Track 20. I've done all the Tascam Porta Studios, like that are the 24 and the 32 and the CD-ROM. And I've had the Boss BR16. I've had the Roland VS2000. I've had them all. So you're missing the real story. The story is not the story of a guy who just lies about how many of these things he's had. It's about a guy burning through money because he can't be content one way or another. Now, if I had $1 million and no money was not an object, there'd be no question. I'd be on 16-track tape with a great big old mixing board, something like our buddy Numb Thumb over at Warheart Arts has. He's got one of them big, beautiful old, I always forget the name. It's not a Neotech, it's not a Soundcraft, but it's something like that. And when he puts his drums through it, it sounds incredible right off the hop. So if I was a millionaire, there's no question I would have 16-track tape and another tape machine to mix it down to. But I'm not a millionaire, so I have to do this prosumer stuff like the rest of you guys. Now, I do have a 4-track cassette, Maybe I should have just tried to make that work. But presently, I've been going back and forth between an Apollo and a Mac and a Reaper and this thing. And this thing burned me because the metering sucks so bad. Now, you guys might point out, well, the new firmware has metering on this thing. Yes, okay. I can USB this into my Mac, and the board there will sit right here, and I can look up at this monitor and look at the meter. It's such a weird afterthought, though. I still have to turn the whole Mac on and USB it on and turn the thing. It just seems, yes, it'll meter on some computer screen. It just seems so far and away from what this was supposed to be, which was grab it and go to your buddy's house and record a band with no computer involved. And where it falls flat is the crap metering. It just, I don't know. It's a poor carpenter blames his tools, and today I am that poor carpenter. So what am I going to do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I like the album. I like the songs, and that's all that matters. And that's all that matters for you too and your projects. That's all matters what you're doing in your studio. Whether you're recording synthesizers like Vic the Synth, or a little bit of everything like Mike at I Love Recording, or you're making cool indie pop songs like Warheart Arts. If you guys like what you're doing, mission accomplished. I like my album. I like the songs. I even like my mixes. I just don't like how weak and lame and lethargic they sound on Spotify next to everybody else's songs. It really bothers me legitimately. So what am I going to do? I don't know. I think I'm going to have it remastered by Todd Tobias. I think I'm going to like maybe do an alternate cover like this, but so that it's pretty clear that it's a different version. Maybe I'll put a border on it or something and put out a remastered version. And just having Todd Tobias's name on the creds is like major, right? He knows lots of bands. I'm not saying it'll get me anywhere, but to slap his name on the back, mastered by Todd Tobias, that's huge. And then re-release it on CD Baby. Now, obviously, I can't just do that now. I put this thing out in May. I'm going to have to wait. So maybe I may wait 1 year. I'll always look like a fool. I'll always look stupid. It's always going to be a blemish because this old version is going to be floating around out there. But I think it's the way to fix this. And you're saying, oh, is mastering it? Yeah, I think so. I think my mixes are fine. You guys can check it out if you want. It's Observatory WatchTower One, Wages of War, and it looks just like this. Go check it out on Spotify. Listen to it by itself, and then listen to it next to any other song on Spotify, and you go, oh yeah, dude, there's something wrong. You're just not, you're just not ramming it through the speakers for me, you know? In my van on a CD, I'm happy with it, but anyway, that is my sad tale. That's how I feel about it. It does bum me out. I'll tell you another thing. I have two paths I can go by right now, a fork in the road. I can look at this and go, this is your fault, you bad metering. This is all you, right? The carpenter blaming his tools, right? And I can like retreat into the Mac, into Reaper, back to my Waves plugins, Universal Audio plugins, all the stuff that I know how to do, and I have made good mixes, and I have made good masters. I can do that, or I can do the other fork in the road and go, no, I'm going to make this work, man. I am going to make this work, even if I got to slam my tracks flat, just super limiter. I don't know. I don't have all the answers right now. I'm just telling you, I'm pretty bummed out with how this sounds on Spotify. Hey, if you're a home amateur like myself and you like trying to make your own records, even if it does make you cry at night, like and subscribe, request for the gear. Hey, thanks for listening to the whole rant.